Well, a great friend of ours is on the phone, and it's good to have Dr. Steve Munsey with us. He pastors a great church in the Chicagoland area. What, the 16th largest church or larger?
I believe a lot of people go there, and
close to 20,000 members, and he has great plays in his church, Jesus of Nazareth. Now, you're going to be with him tomorrow night for what?
For their women's conference.
You're going to the women's conference.
I'm going up. I'm bringing Heather, and she's really excited about it, and I know hopefully he can share a little bit more about it, but his wife's going to be one of the speakers. A lot of great speakers that are going to be there, and it's just awesome. One of the great events they do.
Well, this week, welcome Steve. How are you doing today, Steve?
Oh, Dr. Kuntz, it's a wonderful day. Good to be on TCT along with Tommy and Julie today.
Well, I'm glad that you could do this. A lot of good things are happening. Before we go on to another topic, why don't you tell our audience what's happening in your church tomorrow night?
Well, we're having a women's conference. Sarah Jakes, Bishop T.D. Jakes' daughter, is one of the featured speakers, along with Allie Munsey, Kent Munsey's wife, and of course Melody Munsey. And then we're doing a production. It's called I Am Conference, and we're doing we're pretty excited about it. It's Friday night and Saturday.
Wow. Well, you're going to allow us to air some of that in the next week, I guess.
Absolutely, we're excited. We're excited about TCT's audience seeing a fantastic women's conference.
Oh, good. And if anybody's close to your church, how do they get there?
Yeah, they can just go right on the website and familychristiancenter.for-me, Munster, and all the directions and all the information is right there.
Very good. All right. Well, we've been talking the last several days about the election and the man Donald Trump being elected first, probably a non-politician elected to president, but a fantastic businessman. You've had the opportunity to meet him. You told me a while back when you met him, you had an opportunity to share with him something. You want to tell us what you told him?
Yeah, I was in a meeting with, I think about 18 or 20 ministers. In fact, it was his first ministers meeting that he had right before. Well, he was in the time in which he was going to announce running for president, and people like Kenneth Copeland and Jensen Franklin, and that's the last time I saw Jan Crouch. In fact, she was there, and we were meeting with them, Paula White, and we had a great group there, and there was concerns about him and how he would reach across the lines of different cultures. I stood up and I said, I'm actually from Gary, Indiana, or we're right next to Gary. A lot of several thousand people are members of our church from Gary, Indiana. I said, Mr. Trump, and I want to tell all of you that are here today that Gary, nobody really comes to Gary because, the population and the money and it's an area in which needs help, and its schools and its direction. So I said, but Mr. Trump, you came. You brought the USA pageant 2 years in a row. And I said, that was the most amazing thing that you could do for that city. Its population, and for the city, and so for all the minorities, it was phenomenal. And then I told him, I said, all of you need to know that he had a flat tire in Gary, and his driver was driving around, and someone fixed his tire, and he wanted to meet the person that fixed his tire, and it happened to be a wonderful black man, and he was amazed that it was Mr. Trump in the back of the car. So they shook hands, and he met him, and 2 months later, Mr. Trump paid his house off and paid his car note off, and I stood up and I said, sir, I know that you have compassion for all cultures, and I have the confidence that if if you're a leader in our nation, you'll do a good job with all cultures.
Wow. Well, what do you think? What do you think about all these schools and colleges and things walking out? You know, as a veteran, I'll say this: we have men and women coming back from Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan without limbs, and many of them killed, and all sorts of things, and yet no sympathy for them. But all these colleges and high schools, people just walking out in protest because Trump's in the office. What is your take on all that?
Well, you have to admire Hillary Clinton in her concession speech when she said, you know, that we must get behind the new elected president. I thought it was just absolutely phenomenal in her concession speech. In fact, my admiration for Hillary Clinton went completely through the roof when she kindly said, he's now the president, he's been elected, our Constitution and democracy has spoken, and the people have spoken. I was so impressed with our President Barack Obama, welcoming him to the White House, telling him that they're going to do everything they can to back the transition. And I witnessed before my eyes the democracy that we live in and the Constitution that we all abide by, that it spoke loudly. I'm disappointed, but you know, people are people. It seems to be the younger crowd, a lot of the younger crowd, that I'm not sure if they voted or not. But you know, you're going to have within any nation, you're going to have within any community, you're going to have within any church, you're going to have within any family, you're going to have disagreements. And they may be disappointed because their vote or their wishes did not get into office. But this is a time in which we need to give him a chance, whether you're Republican or you're Democrat or independent. The democracy is there. They should honor our Constitution. And, you know, we need to give him a chance. And we as Christians need to pray for unity. We need to understand that, you know, we vote, but the Bible says God puts them in. And for the last 8 years, we've had a Democrat. We've had Barack Obama. He has led. And now America has spoken, and we didn't do anything out of order. Nobody put him in. Democracy and the vote and the Constitution put him in. We should rally and give him a chance and say, God, heal our nation and bring it together.
Well, you know, you being in Indiana, your new vice president is presently the governor of Indiana. But what is your relationship with him?
He's phenomenal. He was our governor of Indiana, and I can tell you that Indiana has $2 billion surplus. And before Governor Pence, there was Governor Mitch Daniels, and both of them worked together. We were 49th in the union. We're on the verge of being bankrupt, but through their leadership, we are $2 billion to the good in the state of Indiana. Our education has went up, and Governor Pence is a great, fine Christian. He's a wonderful leader. I'm pleased because I do know Governor Pence, and he's a praying man, and to stand right by, you know, the president. He's going to pray with him. He's going to ask God's favor to be upon him. There is no doubt that, you know, the presence of God and the Bible and praying is going to be right there in the Oval Office through Governor Pence.
That's wonderful. And how is your congregation? What, about 20,000 members? I know they're not all in agreement, but how are they accepting the new president?
Well, we are in Democratic territory. Chicago is Democratic territory. I did not tell my congregation who to vote for. We prayed. We fasted. We asked everyone to walk into the voting booth. I really pushed everybody to vote. But when they walked in, they were to, pray and ask God which leader, do they feel comfortable with to pray and for after the leader is in there. And then I told them about Romans. I spoke to them that, Paul talks to us that we are to pray for those that are in authority. And when Paul was writing that, there was Nero was in power. Nero was a bad man when you read history. I mean, he killed his mother. He destroyed his family. He burnt Rome down and blamed it on the Christians. He killed Christians. And Paul is writing, telling the church, pray for those in authority and let God be God. And Timothy talks about that. So that's what I did on the Wednesday after the election. I called the church together and said, we've got to pray now for the unity. America is split. I think this morning I saw it's right down the middle. But the church rallied. We love whoever is being president. We don't always agree with their agenda sometimes. But our faith is not in a man. It's in God. And we must look to God so that God can direct the steps of the leadership and authority. When I get up in the mornings and I pray for Mr. Putin. I pray for the leadership of China. I pray for the leadership of South Africa. I pray for those in authority and those in America and the Senate. And so our church has unified under, we're going to believe for the very best for the leadership of our nation.
Well, that's a good approach. We have to trust God, and the Word also says He puts people in power and takes people out of power. And so if we trust God, then I think we're on the right track. And I think what you've done with your church is excellent. Of course, everything that Steve Munsey does is pretty good. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate our friendship and your helping us over the years to grow and to be able to do what we do. And so he's been here, Julie, every time we've had a major partnership, and been a big help in raising the funds to keep going. And so, Steve, it's good to have you on with us today. I appreciate you so much. If you have any last words, go right ahead.
Well, I'd like to say happy birthday to the president and the director and the leader of TCT. I know Julie has poked a little bit at your age. I didn't know you were that mature. I thought that was an amazing revelation. I can't wait to find out how old Julie is to see what that revelation is. So we'll know in a couple of weeks on that. But I know Tommy and all those there, and your wife are happy today and celebrating. I do want to tell the audience, TCT, you need to know you got a great leader. You got someone that is very passionate about the gospel. You have someone who is leading TCT that wants the gospel to go out 24 hours a day. And I've known him for many years, and that's his passion. That's his goal. He's growing. He's expanding. If you're listening to this today, watching this show today, let me tell you what, you can feel the freedom to take seed offering and say, look, I want to support something that's good, that's reaching people around the world. And Garth Kuntz, Dr. Garth Kuntz, I'm very, very, very proud of you, your family, because you're preaching the gospel. You're allowing us to preach the gospel when we partner with you So when we partner with you, what I like is that somebody is preaching the gospel, and I may not be on television, but I'm partnering. I'm giving the support, and it may be a Kenneth Copeland, it may be a T.D. Jakes, it may be someone 24 hours a day. But I feel good about your vision. Thank you for your vision. Thank you that you did Cell Station. Thank you that you're contending. Thank you that you're preaching the gospel. Thank you for allowing all of us to sing, to testify, to be interviewed, to preach, to teach, and I can't say enough. So happy birthday to you, and may you live another 30, 40 years and be strong.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. And take good care of Tommy when he's up there tomorrow night, and don't let him get in trouble.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll see you. God bless.
God bless you.
Okay.